Over the next several weeks, the American International Podcast will be exploring some of the films that AIP presented exclusively in their television packages as part of their American International Television division. Many of these films were imported from foreign markets, others were made specifically to be included as part of their television packages, and a few were picked up from other domestic distributors following their theatrical runs. In this series, we will be looking at films that are associated with AIP as a result of being presented in these television packages.
We're not talking about actors. We mean a real monster.
I brought her back. She'll live and I'll get her another body.
I know they're going to catch me, but don't let anyone see me like that. Please, Doctor, help me!
Biologically speaking, it's of primary importance that man should want to mate. Hey, that's...
You don't get all your kicks from surfing, do you?
We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. And we want to get loaded.
You think you're going to make a slave of the world? I'll see you in hell first.
The American International Podcast.
Are you ready?
For the next 10 weeks, Jeff and I are going to look at some of the original movies that were made for AIP's syndication subsidiary, American International Television.
AITV was formed in 1964 and served mainly as the TV distributor for movies that were either produced by AIP or those which were acquired by AIP from foreign studios and dubbed into English for domestic distribution. Those included numerous Italian sword and sandal genre films, the Mexican film output of K. Gordon Murray, and several dubbed Japanese kaiju films featuring Godzilla and Gamera.
Major studios like Universal had been offering their films via syndication for years, and they had a much larger library than American International Pictures. However, the titles that AIP provided proved very popular among buyers of syndicated content.
AIP also filmed unsuccessful television pilots for Beach Party and Sergeant Deadhead as part of AITV. The company made several color sci-fi horror television films directed by Larry Buchanan that were remakes of black and white AIP films. Invasion of the Saucermen became the Eye Creatures, for example.
AITV also served as a distributor for several imported television series, including The Avengers, Japanese imports Johnny Sacco and His Flying Robot and Prince Planet, and the Hanna-Barbera produced Sinbad Jr. and His Magic Belt. It was also the original distributor for The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet before Ozzie Nelson, the show's creator, executive producer, and dad, began distributing the show himself in the late 1960s.
In order to calm the fears of cinema owners who feared audiences would skip seeing movies in theaters, knowing they would soon be able to catch them on television, AIP issued a statement retroactive to 1963 that the company would not release any of their films to television until 5 years after cinema release, unless the film had not made back its original negative costs.
AITV also filmed specials for promotions of AIP films, such as The Wild, Weird World of Dr. Goldfoot, which aired on ABC in 1965, and An Evening of Edgar Allan Poe, which went into syndication in 1972. And obviously both were with Vincent Price.
And AITV distributed the pop music series Twiggy's Jukebox, a weekly rock music series that aired from 1978 to 1980, hosted by Twiggy and then Britt Eklund.
AITV continued releasing film syndication packages through 1974.
American International began their movie distribution packages in 1964 with a package called Screen Entertainment, which included 69 features with some of their classic titles like Amazing Colossal Man, Reformed Schoolgirl, Teenage Caveman, Voodoo Woman.
Also in 1964, they issued a package called Epicolor 64 that included a lot of their sword and sandal movies. These are the movies featuring Colossus and Goliath, Hercules, and had titles like King of the Mongols, The Masked Conqueror, Thor the Mighty, and Women of Devil's Island. Also in 1964, they released a package called Amazing 65, which included a lot of AIP movies such as The Brain That Wouldn't Die, Conga, and The Phantom Planet.
And they would continue offering these packages to television stations every year for a total of around 30 different packages between 1964 and 1974.
So join us these next 10 weeks as we look at the movies that were exclusively made for American International Television. Some titles I'm sure you've seen before, but there's a few that you might never have seen.
So until then, for the American International Podcast, this is Jeff Markin.
And I'm Cheryl Lightfoot.
And until next time, stay tuned. Follow the American International Podcast on Instagram and Letterboxd at AIP_pod and on Facebook at facebook.com/American International Podcast.
The American International Podcast is produced and edited by Jeff Markin.
A man whose mind is distorted by hatred.
And Cheryl Lightfoot.
A girl hungry for too many things.
The American International Podcast is part of the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.